a while since I made one of these. I figured it is very much long overdue to look at some more old art. Maybe marvel at how much I've improved, maybe cry, because whatever emotions you will be feeling, I hope you'll join me for this adventure? Yeah, let's put it that way. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. First off, I want to say I moved my desk. You guys can't tell at all, probably, but I moved it more towards my window, so I'm hoping there's some better lighting in the video. So I just wanted to say that because I want your input. Please say it's better because I don't want to move my whole desk back because that was a lot of work. And second of all, I want to say this is sketchbook number 2. I actually have sketchbook number 3 here too. Wait. Aha! This one. It's a lot bigger. As you'll see, I used to not draw on both sides of the pages, so I brought out sketchbook number 3 because I might look through both of them today. I don't know. We'll see how long this first one goes. This one is actually a gift from a friend, which I think you will see on page 1. My coffee's in the way. This is what I get for trying to make a nice shot. But here's a note from my friend, signed Daddy, because of course we were in high school, so obviously, what else would it be signed? Their name? No. I don't remember the exact starting date. I forgot to write it the moment I drew the first page, so mid-September 2016. Here's it's a sticker from, hold on, I think this angle isn't quite right. Professional art man. It's my first time filming at my desk since I moved it, so. But anyways. Our GSA would give out these stickers and stuff. I had a sticker where it says I am, and then my friend crossed it out and wrote an actual gay kid. I don't know where that sticker went, but I thought it was in here, but clearly it was not. But onto the actual art. I, like many people in 2016, was obsessed with Voltron, so I drew Allura. And then the first pages are actually a bunch of Voltron characters. When I decided to first start keeping sketchbooks, I gave him one of these like basic ass shirts because I thought that suited him because, you know, he's Lance. But when I first decided what the fuck is this? Anyways, when I first decided that I wanted to keep sketchbooks, I really wanted to find my own art style. Here was a bit more of a chibi-ish style. A lot of my looking at old art videos, I mentioned an artist Greywick a lot. These plants are... What's the point of having an aesthetic shot? It just gets ruined. But I mentioned an artist Greywick a lot in my old art videos. They were one of my biggest inspirations when I was first starting to find an art style. So if you noticed resemblance of their art in this, that's why. I remember this one was my favorite, and I remember also, as you can see, it's September, so this was around the time that school started. This was my junior year, I believe. I remember I would always like have my sketchbooks in school, and people would look at this and be like, wow, you're so good at art. And I'd be like, yeah, I know. They're okay. I mean, I was a junior in high school, so it's not bad, but like, oh, this is adorable still. I kind of like this one. I like the face. I remember this one being like my least favorite though, just because I had a really hard time drawing Hunk. I don't really watch Voltron anymore. People who have watched the entire series can probably be with me on that, but I don't watch it a whole lot anymore. But at the time, ooh, I loved it. It was my obsession for a solid minute. I haven't looked through this before filming, but you'll probably see a lot of that in here. Oh, here's Andy. For newcomers of my channel, this is my character, Andy. They're my main OC, I would say, but also that said, I barely draw them anymore. But they used to be so different, like, compared to how they are now. They were a lot edgier and angstier. Now they're precious baby, so. Look how far apart these are. Oh my god, those eyes. They're like a frog. I think spacing with the eyes, honestly, is something I still have a hard time with. I know where the eyes are supposed to be on a face. I can't do it right sometimes. Since this was a mixed media sketchbook, I wanted to really try adding, not necessarily finished stuff, but more like this, where it's like line art and everything. Did you just see that? My mug got caught on my coaster. For a long time, I just felt this really big pressure to like, oh my god. Okay, hold on. I'll get to that in a sec. I felt pressured to make more finished stuff. Not necessarily like full colored stuff, but stuff like this where I would do line art and everything more often. In my first sketchbook, I did a lot of pencil sketches. I never sketch in pencil anymore unless I'm making a finished illustration. But now I don't feel that pressure, but back then, oh boy. And now here. You'll probably take pictures of this if you want to read them. I'm not gonna read them because fuck, that's a lot. All I know, Andy's very different from how they were once. For one, they're 18 now, not 17. They identified as gender fluid. I haven't thought about those more like specific labels in a while. I kind of just refer to Andy as non-binary now. I don't want to call them micro labels, but like more things under the non-binary umbrella. I haven't like referred to Andy as any of them in a long while. I just refer to them as non-binary. May 4th, their birthday's now April 1st. First day them, but it's fine with he, him. I have not referred to Andy with he, him pronouns in a long while. A big part of that is because like they were originally assigned female at birth, but now they're assigned male at birth, and I feel weird about it now. I know there are non-binary people assigned male at birth that are fine with he, him pronouns, but I just use they, them, so that's what I always, their pronouns are they, them. I don't know why I'm making this a lot more difficult. This was when I was first really constructing Andy as a character, before they were just like a well, they're still just a drawing, but they were just like a design. And this was when I was starting to actually construct that. I don't know. You know what I mean. I feel like if you were to read these, you would really see that they're like, this is such an OC that a junior in high school would make. Here's an unfinished drawing. There was a lot of this. Nowadays in sketchbooks, I really try to avoid doing this. I try and fill up the pages as much as I possibly can. Because even at the end of the day, if I don't like most of them or any of them that's on the paper, it's a waste of paper to just do this. So I don't anymore. And look at this. What the fuck is this? You fucking idiot. God. Here's more of Andy. I'll put this on screen now. Tries too hard to be edgy, but is too cute for it. They don't try to be edgy anymore, but they still have this sweater though. They have a couple of like edgy outfits, I guess, but they're a lot less angsty nowadays. Oh my god. As you can see, my fairy tale obsession was very strong even back then. Here's Rogue and Frosh. That face. My god. They look like they are staring into your soul. I used to draw Sting and Rogue a lot. I've noticed that, like, I go through phases of which fairy tale character is my favorite. I've always considered Gray my all-time #1 favorite. Now, I'm kidding. I still love him. At the time, it was the Sabretooth Gang, more specifically Sting and Rogue. Now, I really like Loxus and the Thunder Legion, and people who don't watch fairy tale are very confused or want me to shut up. Oh my god, I remember this. I remember drawing this in the library during one of my study halls. I hit 100 followers on Instagram. If only baby Oliver can see how far we've gotten now. He'd shit himself. It's so interesting to see, like, how I looked back then, too. For those of you who don't know, hi, my name is Oliver. I am a trans man. No, I have not taken hormones. That's why I sound like a 12-year-old boy, but I am 20 years old. I came out when I was... I think I came out for the first time to anybody when I was 15. The end of my sophomore year and the beginning of my junior year, all that space in between is when I like started coming out to people and started trying to present masculinely. So this is like the beginning of me starting to socially transition. Because I'd say I dress pretty masculine now, but at the time it was hard to like make that transition. I didn't really know how to present as a guy, so that was a fun time. I used to draw Ponyo a fuck ton. That was my favorite Ghibli movie, or at least one of my favorites. I'd still consider it one of my favorites. To know my #1 favorite, I'd have to think about it a little bit more, to be honest. Here's more Andy. I've always just designed my own original characters ever since I was little, but at the time, I considered Andy to really be my only OC. At this point, I had abandoned all of my old OCs. For viewers of my channel, you know, I've taken a lot of them and like revamped them and redesigned them, but at the time I just abandoned them, so Andy was really the only one that I drew at the moment. So there, you'll see a lot of them in here. Here's some Totoros. I remember really liking this one. I thought it was adorable. As usual, I am planning on redrawing some old art from this sketchbook in a different video, so maybe that'll be one to consider. Here's some Voltron stuff, of course, and of course a waste of space. Oh my god, do you see this face? I don't know if the camera's picking that up. It's like ever so light. That's hilarious. That's me. Me as a face. But these were my 3 faves at the time. Now Lance is my favorite, and then the show did him kind of dirty. So here's Wendy from Fairy Tale. She was one of my go-tos to draw just because I felt like I was really good at drawing her. She was kind of up my alley in terms of like a visual design goes, so not much to say about this. As you can see, this is the best page in my sketchbook. Like, I don't think I'll ever make a sketchbook page that can amount to this. So, actually when I'm done, I might like cut out some of these like blank spaces and use them as like scrap pieces of paper just because this is such a waste. It's such a waste. I feel bad. Here's Witch Andy. I wanted to like Halloween more than I do. I feel like I loved it a lot as a kid, but then as I got older, like I don't like Halloween as much anymore. I still think in concept it's fun, but like I can't, it's boring for me now. Like a big part of Halloween was dressing up and going trick-or-treating, but now I'm 20 and I can't do that because that's weird. And I don't have friends to throw a party with, so, you know, this was like when I was starting to get into that weird phase of not being able to enjoy it anymore. I was just trying to get in the Halloween spirits. I think this is an interesting drawing. I remember liking it, but not liking it at the same time, if that makes any sense. First of all, their head is huge. I had a really bad habit of drawing heads massive, and I mean, I feel like I still draw kind of big heads, but I've gotten a lot better at it. But I debated for a long time, like, finishing this drawing. You can see what my decision eventually was. More sketches of Andy, nothing new. I loved sketching the base with, like, a red mechanical pencil lead. I think I just got it at Target. And then sketching on top with pencil. I know it's so weird, because I never sketch with pencil anymore, like, ever. This is just a random girl I made. Now I have plenty of OCs. Like, I have a shit ton of characters to choose from now, but at the time, I was only drawing Andy. I was just wanting to draw something else. And then here's Gray from Fairy Tale, because of course this is the halfway page. I marked it here. It's so weird to see this, because now whenever I reach like the middle of my sketchbook, I do like a full finished to spread illustration. So it's weird to just, I didn't do that at one point. It's so strange. I remember I really wanted to practice drawing facial expressions, which is why you see a lot of these like headshots, because I just felt like I was drawing the same expression over and over again, which I probably was, to be honest. Again, another top tier page. You can really see my skill. Here I tried going for more of like a what's it, bird's eye view. Didn't get very far. Drawing of Andy, because what else would there be in this sketchbook? I'm definitely getting to the point in looking at my old art where I stop like hating them and being like, that had potential, because this was when I was like starting to really improve. It was this point, like my junior and senior year of high school, I feel like I improved a lot artistically, clearly. What a page to turn on when I'm saying that. It's a bit of a mixed bag, because on one hand, I was really depressed and didn't care about school at all anymore. So I was not paying attention at all. I was literally drawing throughout all of my classes, not doing any of my homework instead of drawing, not getting any work done in study halls instead of drawing. Same with lunch, I was just drawing, and then I would go home and I would draw, because that was my coping mechanism. Honestly, it's a miracle I ever graduated high school, but on the other hand, I made art that I was really proud of. Like this was one of my favorite drawings for a very long time. I just remember loving it so much. I think I would actually really like to redraw this one, just mostly because Andy is so different now. That used to be so emo and angsty. But again, another baby. Here's around Christmas time. I think I meant to post these on Instagram and then I never did. So here you go. This is the exclusive art you came to this video for. This was also when I really started to get into alcohol markers. Oh my god. This is the first ever Luca drawing. Guys. I forgot. This is this sketchbook. Okay, I made Luca, who newcomers of my channel might not know as well, but longtime viewers are very much aware of him and Andy. But I really wanted to do something with Andy at this point. I didn't want them to just be a character that existed in my sketchbook. At the very least, I wanted them to exist as a character in my sketchbook with friends. So I also decided before I even drew him that I wanted him to have his twin sister Rory. Wait, I just read loves peanut butter. What? So fucking random. My god. Unexplainably clumsy. Yeah. Enjoys cooking. Wow, this is what a fucking throwback. Personality wise, Luca has remained pretty much the same. Before I even drew before I drew him at all, I knew I wanted him to have a twin sister named Rory. There's a book I read, I think it's called 13 Gifts. As a kid, it was one of my favorite books, and in there was a girl character named Rory, and I thought that Rory was a really cool name for a girl, so I really wanted to make a character who was a girl named Rory. Rory's name and I guess general personality came first, but Luca's visual design came first. And since they were twins, I wanted them to look similar. Fun fact, her shirt, like her main outfit shirt says Damn Princess and it has like a crown on it. I think you'll see. Yeah, here's a better drawing of it. It was supposed to say fucking princess, but then I decided, you know, this is my sketchbook I'm reading in school, and I'm a little bit of a pussy, so I'm gonna make it say damn princess instead. And now that turned into an entire clothing brand that exists in the world, so you never know where ideas will lead. This is the first drawing I made of them together, and you wasn't quite sure how to feel about them at this point. I remember I had a hard time deciding on like a color scheme for Luca. For the most part, this is what they look like now. Rory's supposed to really like makeup. Not that you'd guess from the way I draw her. That's still something that's true about her. She still likes makeup, but I don't know how to draw makeup, so I don't draw her wearing it anymore. But here's a drawing of Luca. This was when I started to draw them a lot and really trying to like flush out their personalities and designs and everything. This is a fun drawing of Luca. Maybe one to redraw. And then this drawing of Rory. I remember really liking it just because it was like completely black and white and then the splashes of blue. I think this would be another fun thing to play around with because her main outfit has changed just a little bit. Luca in a rare purple vest because I didn't know how to draw him. I think these would be really fun too. I really like them, especially this Rory. This actually became an illustration that I put in my AP art portfolio. I redrew it as like a not chibi. It became part of my, what was it? There's the two different sections. I don't remember. But this was one of them. I think this would be one that I should redraw too. I still kind of like it, honestly. Like, I'm not mad at this. I would, if I saw this picture on Instagram on my Explore feed, I'd like it. I remember at the time I really liked this one because a lot of people on Instagram liked it. But I remember it was mostly taking inspiration from this one. Fun fact about this, I remember it getting like 40 likes on Instagram and I was like, holy shit, Dad, look! Because I was in my dad's car and he was like, yeah, that's awesome. That sounded sarcastic, but it was genuine. We were like geeking out about it. Look at me now, Dad! Yo, from Fruits Basket. At this point, I think I just wanted to draw a bunch of fan art from shows I really liked. Because aside from the Voltron and Fairy Tail that was scattered throughout here, it was mostly like me drawing Andy. I wanted it to, you know, draw fan art. I don't know why I completely blanked. Fruits Basket is still one of my all-time favorite shows. This was 2016, so before the reboot, but Kyo was always my favorite, so like, I had to draw him. Some Soul Eater, these are my 3 faves from that show. Still to this day, I really like them all. Stein, Krona, and Death the Kid. Axel from Kingdom Hearts. I go through, whenever a new Kingdom Hearts game comes out, I'm like, oh my god, Kingdom Hearts, holy fuck, because I really loved it as a kid. I don't play them a lot anymore, but whenever I watch like a playthrough of the game, I just forget that it exists. And to be fair, I think the main reason I like it is because I liked it as a kid. I can't imagine me getting into it now for the first time, but he was always my favorite, still is. Here's Hope from Final Fantasy 13. I remember everyone hated him, but I liked him, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna sit over here then. Fun fact, he has the same voice actor from Phineas in Phineas and Ferb, so.
I know what we're gonna do today.
You guys can think about that. There's a lot of characters in Fairy Tail that I loved, and still do, so I wanted to draw some of them. Jalal, Ultir, and Rufus. You know, more Voltron, nothing new at all. I liked this one a lot. More Fairy Tail, the Sabretooth Gang, because what else would I be drawing? More Fairy Tail, wow. Ice Wizards, super cool. Oh my god, more Fairy Tail, wow, who would have guessed? Even back then, I was a piece of trash. Anyways. Oh, here's Yuri and Victor from Yuri on Ice. I think this was around the time the show first came out. When it first came out, I was obsessed, as many people were. More Keith. I remember really liking the look of these, just like the sketchiness of it. Here I tried to draw something with more movement. You can be the judge of how well that went. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. Gladion from Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think this was also around the time that these first came out, and again, like many people, I loved Gladion because edgy son. Oh, and here's the ending page that I did not finish. I finished January 20th, 2017. That was sketchbook number 2. I feel like that went by kind of quickly, so I think I am going to look through sketchbook number 3. It's too big. This is the same sketchbook as the first one. Honestly, would not recommend. The paper's not very good. I mean, personally, I'm just not a fan of sketch paper in general. I prefer mixed media paper, or just thicker paper in general. Let's do this. God Damn it. But I started this February 23rd, 2017. This is when Sawyer came into the picture. Okay, so some quick context. The first sketchbook I ever filled and then the second sketchbook I ever filled, I actually worked at the same time. I started the first sketchbook first, but then I finished sketchbook number 2 first. So that's why I consider them 1 and 2. So even though in sketchbook number 2, you will see the first ever drawings of Luca and Rory, the first drawings of Sawyer are in sketchbook 1 because after I made Luca and Rory, I finished the sketchbook and then I went in sketchbook number 1 again and finished it, and that's where Sawyer came in. So that's why he's just here, just to clarify for anyone who might be confused. So here, there's when I put him, very smooth. I was drawing them all together. I think, hello?
Hi, this is I'm giving you a call from the dealer service center. We recently noticed your car's extended warranty.
I don't own a car. You recently noticed this your car's extended warranty. Shut the fuck up. Anyways. This is so chaotic, my god. Here's their hearts, their heights. I think this is generally the same. I know he's still 6 feet. I think Andy might have grown an inch. Good for you, Andy. And I think they're the same height instead of Rory being an inch taller, but I don't remember. But anyways, here's Mabel's origin. Hold on, this is why I wouldn't recommend this sketchbook. Performing surgery real quick. But here's Mabel. This is also when I decided to make their gang grow a little bit more. So I was trying to concept Mabel. For the most part, this is what she looks like. But there are definitely some changes that have happened. Like her body is a little bit curvier now. And then her hair got like more tight curls to them. Her general personality has always stayed the same. And also her main outfit has always stayed the same, honestly. And here I was sketching them all together. Us little guys got stick together. Who you call little? But I thought she was a great addition to the team. And I draw her a lot. Oh, I remember this. This was when I was having a panic attack in the bathroom at school. I don't remember. I think this might have been when we were starting swim class in gym and I was like, oh fuck, trans panic. So I never skipped any classes in school with the exception of swim. Like as soon as swim started in gym class, I skipped every single time, which was very strange for me. I was stressed not only because I was skipping class, but also because trans panic. I drew this while I locked myself in one of the bathroom stalls. Like a real emo kid. Here's Sawyer. This was, I think, before I made him drop out at school. But him and Rory both played soccer. That used to be a thing. I don't think I mentioned this online. I guess this will allude to a video I'm planning on making soon. Their story doesn't take place in school anymore. At the time, since I was in school, that's something that I enjoyed and something I connected to. And now, like, I can consume media. Like, if I'm watching an anime and it takes place in high school, I can enjoy it. But as far as creating stories now, I just don't vibe with the school life. Because fuck school. I'm kidding, school's important, but fuck school. So their story doesn't take place in school anymore, so neither of them are on sports teams, but they were both supposed to be like athletic-y characters, and they've always like not gotten along. More Voltron, because what else would I be drawing? You know, another incredible use of paper Oliver. Here, I remember really liking this one, and I did something similar, I think later on in here. Literally the next page. Wow. Practicing a bunch of different expressions and stuff. And I think one of these pages also made it in my portfolio. I can't quite remember, but I really liked it. This was at the time where I was really into drawing in a Sharpie pen. Like I loved sketching in it. Now I just use colored ballpoint pens, but this is when I was starting to stray away from using pencil. Excellent art. Fuck. Ah, shit. Here we go again. There we go. They're still not dating, guys. You can see how long this has been going on for. So even though they're not dating, one of my favorite parts about them has always been like the height difference, because Andy's super short and Luca's pretty tall. I like this one where Luca's giving them a piggyback ride. It's adorable. But yeah, they're not dating. So Mabel, still trying to figure out how to draw her because she was still very new at this time. Aside from those two differences, like her hair and her body type, she hasn't changed much, like at all. Oh my god. This is Cass. Fun fact, the entire reason Cass exists is because I was always really bad at drawing his type of character. He's just supposed to be like a really big, tough, intimidating, masculine looking guy, so I can get better at drawing that. And so here I was struggling, and then here I said, wow, what a glow up. But honestly, I'm not sure it was. So this is the first ever drawing of Cass. I was trying to draw differences in their faces. Clearly, I am just a master of solving same face syndrome. I mean, I tried. There was an effort that cannot be denied. I am planning on like drawing all of my characters eventually and like figuring out their face shapes. They need some work. I remember always liking this drawing, but also at the same time, like, that's not a Luca face. He's a very like chill, laid back, happy-go-lucky kind of person, and so drawing this face on him was very interesting. Here's more Luca, trying to flesh him out a little bit more. This is a redraw from my first sketchbook. When I redrew art from that first sketchbook, I redrew this again to keep the line going, but I, like many people, thought Rogue really needed a matching jacket or onesie to go with Frosh. Like, this face is so weird. Also here, I tried to do a lot of stuff like this where there was like some sort of like interesting pose or perspective or foreshortening going on. Definitely needed some work, but again, I made an effort. I think that's something that I really will give past me credit for. I think I was very ambitious and like kind of overestimated my skill, which sounds bad, but I would actually argue that it's a good thing because I feel like it makes you practice things that a lot of people are kind of scared to try, like stuff like this where it's like foreshortening, and earlier I tried like the bird's eye view sort of thing. Even if my skill wasn't at a point where I could effectively convey that, I wasn't afraid to try it, so I will give past me credit there. Here, I believe I was rewatching Avatar for the first time in forever. Now it's a common thing for me to watch every now and again, but at this point, I hadn't watched it since I was a kid. I was obsessed with it for a hot second, so I drew some Sokka, and then some Zuko. He was always my fave, but Sokka was always a close second. Here was around the time I watched Moana for the first time. Here, you can see I'm starting to not sketch in pencil. I would do like the base with a pencil at this point, but I started doing the actual sketch in like pen or Sharpie pen or something. Here I remember really loving A, how the nose came out, and B, how the hair came out, because for one, this is kind of the start of how I draw noses now, honestly, with like that little shape right here. And then I also drew hair like flat across the head. Here's when I started making it like curve up a little bit and you can see more of the hairline, which definitely makes the hair look more voluminous. So that's when I started doing that, and I was really excited about it. More Zuko, more incredible use of paper. Nothing new. Oh, this is Arlo. I remember at the time, I was kind of against making fan OCs. I don't know why I put air quotes around that. That's literally what they are, fan OCs. Just because it was associated with like cringe culture and all of that fun stuff. But it's something that I've always done as a kid. So I was stuck in this place of like wanting to and not wanting to be cringy. So this is when Arlo was born, which was my Avatar OC, let's call it what it was. But at the time I was like, no, they're not. At the time, I was like, he absolutely wasn't, but he was like, he basically was, if that makes any sense. So now I do consider him that, because fuck people on the internet, do what you want. I remember really liking this sketch, and then I colored it and hated it, so I think on the next page, yeah. On the next page, I literally like either traced it or very closely redrew it. It looks pretty traced, but I just didn't like that, so I wanted to redo it. And then here I was gonna make a whole spreadsheet for them, and then I gave up. I should bring Arlo back. He was a fun character. I think in one of my later sketchbooks I redesigned him a bit, but now I don't draw him. Leave a like if you want me to draw Arlo again. More Zuko. He was always one of my favorite characters, so I was really having a fun time getting back to drawing him. Here I think was going to be Andy based off of the colors, but I think shit, here we go again. This is why I don't recommend the paper. But here, I loved doing this. Honestly, I should probably do stuff like this again. I feel like I am starting to get back in the habit of like, not drawing the same expression, but drawing the same few expressions. I think past me, honestly, was a lot more set on improving than I am now. Not that I don't want to improve, but it's definitely less of a conscious effort. Here I was like actively trying to improve. I think this was around, was this one season? No, I think this was still just when we had season 1. I don't remember. Here's Ponyo, of course. More Ponyo, of course. Rapunzel. She was my favorite Disney princess for a long time. I'm not sure if she still is. I'd have to think about it, but Tangled is definitely one of my favorite movies. Love that movie. Here's Arlo again. He was a fun character to draw. Why don't I draw him anymore? He was totally not water tribe. Translation, he was waterbender. Oh my god. Arietta! At this point, I wanted to go back and start revamping some of my older OCs. Arietta is a character I made when I was about 12, so here I was trying to redesign her. She doesn't really look like this now. The silhouette generally is the same. Like, she has the same hair, she has the tall socks and a skirt, but she looks pretty different now. She used to have this, like in her very old design, she had this super long tailcoat, but that has since died. Also, her body type changed a lot. I went back and forth between that. I just didn't know what body type to give her for the longest time. Nowadays, I decided to make her thinner because I feel like a lot of my characters have like a thicker body type, so I made her thinner. Here's Pokemon. I wanted to go back and draw a bunch of characters from like old games that I liked, and also new games because Gladion's here. Cynthia, my wife. I'm a nerd. Yeah, boy, Guzma. I still love Guzma, honestly. What a fun guy. More of the gang. Andy drooling over Luca. Nice. And then here's Arietta. Spicy. This is the spiciest stuff I drew in my old art. Now I'm a lot more open about drawing like not safe for work, or at least like risque type artwork, but at the time I was very conscious and nervous for people to find art that I made like that, so I didn't draw it a lot in my sketchbook because I knew people looked through it or like wanted to, and I was always awkward and didn't know how to say no to people. So this is like the spiciest it ever got in my old sketchbooks. Titty. Here's Alistair, another old OC that OC. I really need to bring her back. She was a fun character. She was this alien. I have like set stories that I have, right? So we have like Andy's universe, and then we have like Jeremy's universe, my soon to be webcomic universe, etc, etc. Like I have certain stories, and like hers could be one of them because she has a plot. I just never draw her. So maybe I'll make more characters for her universe and actually make her into a story that I actively am trying to make, but you know. Here's the twins. I've always really loved their dynamic. I thought that that was really fun. This I remember really loving. I wanted to draw, who is this? Mabel. At this point, she was still very new, so I wanted to draw her interacting with each of the characters that existed in this universe so far. I just remember really loving this one in particular. Thought it was neat. Here I was trying to figure out Sawyer. I remember really liking this one. I thought that that was fun. I just remember really liking the water bottle and being like, wow, look at that. Action. Oh, here's another time I was having a panic attack in the bathroom. We don't gotta talk about it, so. Here's a comic thing. I really want to redraw this. I started a while ago. I guess I'll put up the first page now, but I never got past the first one. I wanted to practice having it be like a full colored thing. So maybe one day I'll get to it, but I actually redrew this in a later sketchbook. In the later versions, she ends up just throwing Luca. She literally just yeets him across the room, and it's hilarious. This sketchbook spread, I remember loving it. I just thought it was so cool. And honestly, I think this is the start of me drawing sketchbooks the way I do now, I guess. Like now there's a lot more going on my sketchbook pages and there's more to look at. I think this was the start of that. Oh, this was, remember those like draw the squad stuff? Which I've actually debated like making a video of me just drawing a bunch of them because they used to be like my favorite things on the internet. So here's one of them with, I'll put the original image up here. I think I still have it somewhere in my computer, my god, of Loxus and the Thunder Legion. Whenever I see that picture, I just think of them. I think I drew it once before too, either before or after this. More of them. Loxus and the Thunder Legion. As you can see, they've always had a special spot in my heart. Kana, Lizana, who sometimes I accidentally say her name is Lasagna. And then Juvia. We all know how I feel about her character, but visually I always thought she was fun. Sabretooth? I think, yeah, this is all Sabretooth. I like this one. And then Frosh booping Rogue's nose. I always loved how Frosh is like the cutest X-Seed, and then Frosh's owner is an emo trash. I'm kidding, I love him. How many pages have I had that are just this? My god. Markeith. I remember really liking this one, but I messed up the eyes, and so I was like, if only I didn't fuck up the eyes. I do think that it has like nice weight to it compared to a lot of my other old drawings. Oh, here's me drawing me. It's just so interesting to look at and how differently I was. I still dress kind of like this. And of course, just a hoodie because I'm a person. Here's Wendy and Shelia. I always thought that they were a fun little duo. I redraw this later on, I think a couple of times actually. The whole spread of Wendy. This is This is what became my first ever speed paint. This was before I started YouTube, but like just before. I wanted my first video to be a fairy tale speed paint because I love fairy tale. Like I really loved this one, so I ended up just drawing that as my first speed paint. Wow, how times, oh! This is so sentimental and mushy. I'm feeling a lot of things right now. I'm not gonna cry. I feel the tears welling up, so we're gonna move on. Spread a fruits basket. At this point, I think I was going back and reading some of the manga. I think this might be like a, what's it called, a splash page from the manga, or at least like an outfit from it. I can't quite remember. Here's Andy. Deadass. Oh, fuck. I was trying to look past it. There's another one. No, they're not dating. They're not. This was one of my first goes at a background. Not that bad for an attempt. I remember laughing at it because it looked like they were running from the pizzeria. Here's more Arlo. Not much to say about this, except for R.I.P. Arlo. This I remember loving. Honestly, it's still pretty adorable. I'd love to redraw this with their new design. If this is the first video you're seeing of mine, or just a generally recent subscriber, here's what Andy looks like now. They look very different. Here was actually when Paramore started releasing, I don't know if their full album was out at this point, but After Laughter. This was either when Hard Times just came out, or when the album came out. I can't remember. It was somewhere in between those. But Paramore's my favorite band, and so I drew some stuff inspired from that sort of aesthetic the whole album had. Here's Alora. Again, just Voltron obsession, nothing new. I decided to draw Urza in a bunch of her different armor stuff because I love her. She could murder me in cold blood and I'd thank her. Bunch of Rory, her rat Abraham. I need to actually like design him. I don't know if anyone knows that about her. I don't know who remembers that. She has a pet rat named Abraham. That's disrespectful. Oh, here I was going to draw Andy with a butterfly on their face. I remember because I kept thinking, I really need to come back to this, and then I never did. Here was around the part of Fairy Tale. I think this was when the 1 year time skip, like, just released, and I really liked Lacey's outfit, so I wanted to draw her. I'm trying to think of who this was supposed to be. Well, this is Mavis from the part, fuck, what was it? The later part, when the stuff happens, you know. And then Natsu and Gray not being in love. There's Leon, and nothing else. Mabel. Here I was starting to design different outfits for her. Honestly, both of these outfits are things she still has. Here's when I was finally starting to figure out how to draw Cass and not being afraid to draw him. Again, for the most part, this is what he looks like now. His design hasn't changed a whole lot. They're my most normal universe, I guess you could say. A lot of my stories take place in like a fantasy type world where there's like magic and adventure, because that's like the type of content I most enjoy consuming. But they exist in just a regular ass world. So they're always like the easiest for me to draw and design. Here I decided to draw them together. They always had like a close relationship. I need to draw them interacting more. They're both precious. Here's more Cass, really trying to figure out how the heck he works. It's so weird seeing him draw like this. Like Mabel, his body type changed a lot, but other than that, it's the only difference, really. Here's when I decided to design Kennedy Quinn, who is Sawyer's little cousin, for those of you unaware. Similar to why Cass exists now, the whole reason she exists is because I felt like I was always bad at drawing children. I had a hard time picking, like, what she is. I remember struggling with her hair most. She always really liked baseball. That was always her favorite sport. I remember struggling most with her hair, but eventually I decided on this, which is generally what her hair is now. Sawyer, Andy. Honestly, a fun duo. They're fun. And then here's the end. Here I drew the gang. At this point, Cairo or Hadia or Asim didn't exist. So for now, it was just them. But this is a fun one. I kind of want to redraw this. That's adorable. Wow. Thanks, Pat writes. That was someone named Patrick in my school. I erased them. No, kidding. They were Post-it notes. I don't know what happened. I didn't erase them because I would have seen them. And then I finished it May 23rd, 2017. Wow. What a time. For those of you who don't know, if this is the first video you're seeing like this of me, I always make a follow-up video to this, redrawing old art from these sketchbooks. I do think I am going to split it up into 2 separate videos, so I'll have a redrawing old art from this, and then a little after that I'll redraw old art from this. What a time. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. Let me know what drawings you liked. I'm gonna wrap this up because people are doing work outside. Probably hear that. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know what drawings you liked, which ones you thought were really awful, and also let me know which ones you would like to see me redraw. I definitely have some ideas of what I'd like to redraw already, but I would love to hear your thoughts too. And if you are new here, hello, my name is Oliver. I post new videos here every single week. If you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you liked any of the characters in here, you'd probably like the updated versions of them. You'll see them in sketchbook tours. I make character videos about them. Give those a watch if you're interested. And if you want to see more from me, you can follow me on social media, which will be on screen now and linked in the description box below. I'm most active on Instagram. That's where I post my art, all that stuff. So if you want to see more art from me, go follow me over there. And there will be some videos on screen now and linked in the end card for you to check out if you want. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.